VGC is supported by Patreon. Check out patreon.com/videogameschronicle for more podcasts, ad-free browsing, and extra content. Thank you for your support. We all live in a Pokemon world. It's VGC the Video Game Podcast, episode 134, with me, Jordan Midler, and Chris Scullion. This week, Pokemon and WWE. But first, how's it going, Chris? How are things over in the homeland? I hear it's hot over there.
It's boiling. It's been a week. It's been quite full on. One of those ones where a fan does very little. This is something that our American viewers won't maybe necessarily realise, is that over here in the old UK we don't really do air conditioning that much. So when it's hot, we suffer greatly.
It's a shitty little fan for Tesco more often than not.
Yeah, so it's not been great, but
according to my partner, who I've been roundly ignoring while I've been out here, the dogs have been desperately trying to get under the covers with her, which just seems absolutely violent. I don't know why dogs are like that. Like, surely they know that they're going to overheat, and also since they don't sweat, all the heat just stays in their body.
Yeah, they're very much the Prince Andrew of animals.
I've often said that. I see you're sporting a Game Boy t-shirt. Was that from the Nintendo Museum? It
was indeed. I'm keeping it real. Very much dating back to the old 1989 Game Boy, for no apparent reason whatsoever. Just thought my job. Yeah. When I went to Nintendo Museum in Kyoto, I absolutely rinsed it of all its branded T-shirts. Just the ones I cared about. Like I didn't bother with like a Wii shirt or anything like that, because that's like.
See, I thought you would have got the Wii, because don't you associate that with you kicking off in this job?
I do, and usually, and that's why I would get other Wii branded stuff, but stuff like that you can Etsy. Yeah. But to be fair, whereas like the Famicom Disk System T-shirt is really cool, like bright yellow shirt with it looks really cool. Fair enough, you could Etsy this one, but it's got a wee purple trim, which I quite appreciate. It looks like a second top underneath it, but it's actually all a oneer, so I quite like this one.
Are you saying that no one's got really high-resolution logo images of the Famicom Disk System on Etsy?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying it's famously been impossible to track down. So yeah, I'm happy with it. It's very much. I got Game Boy, Famicom Disk System, Virtual Boy, Switch, and Game Boy Advance.
How granular did they go? Was there like an SP? Was there a color, or was it just the big? It was
just the big one. So it was Famicom. I think they had NES, Famicom, Super Famicom, Virtual Boy, Game Boy Advance, DS, 3DS. The kind of main entries. Then go get Game Boy Color or anything like that. It was just like the standard ones. So yeah, it's all good.
It's just. I know that when I go, and I'll talk about this in a minute when we talk about the Pokemon Center. In my old age, I've become so, just get it. Mm-hmm. Whereas when I was younger and I was like on like student money, it was like, oh, do I really, really love it? Am I going to wear this all the time? Whereas now it's just like, who cares? You're on holiday. Before we get into this, I'd like to thank our wonderful season ticket holders over on patreon.com/videogameschronicle. Let me tell you, Chris, this list is getting comically long at this point. So
the podcast's going to end up being 2 hours long.
If we get to a point where we're reading 2 hours of names, we'll only be doing podcasts, so don't worry about that. Shout out to MMSC Ginger, Silas the Vagerstein, Matthew Tate, Justin Keeling, Vicious Moroccan Lamb, Tanner Santos, Serkin Toto, Shay Dougal, Matt Huggins, Martimus Prime, Ryan Cobain, Sam Biggs, Hugh Friend, Ginger Jolton, Mark Edmonds, James Hughes, and Pikachu. You can become a season ticket member or any member at patreon.com/videogameschronicle. You have about how many days in August? 30 days has September, April, June, and December.
31,
all the rest have 31.
31, yeah.
So you've got about 16 days left to get your VGC badge, the first ever piece of VGC merch.
I like when we start getting enough season ticket holders that we can start pairing names off to have them fight each other. So we've got Ginger Jota, and we've also got SC Ginger now. That's clearly a battle of the gingers. We've also got Matthew Tate and Matt Huggins. That feels like a Matt versus Matt.
That's an actual programme.
Mm-hmm.
Do we maybe book them as a tag team though? Do they come up through the tag ranks and then we blow them off Mega Power style?
Yeah, but we've also got someone now called MM, and for all we know that could just stand for Matt.
True. To
What can
me,
I say?
Silas the Vagerstein, he's the big heel. He's the big heel champion that we're
He's the
trying
final
to.
boss.
Yeah, I think like maybe like a Sam Biggs or a Ryan Cobain is like the white meat babyface, like the underdog going against, much like a Bryan Danielson type character.
Yeah,
Whereas,
Serkan Toto is the WWF president, Jack Tunney
yeah,
of the thing. He oversees it.
God rest him.
Indeed.
Jack Tunney's a weird character because he's like so integral to such a popular era of wrestling, but they never bring him up. He never gets referenced. He's not like a. You see Bobby the Brain constantly. You see Mean Gene constantly, but.
I can't remember what the deal was with Jack Tunney. I believe did he not own one of the territories or something like that? And part of the deal of WWF or whatever it was at the time buying him over was that Tunney would be involved, but his involvement was so basic that it was literally just every 6 months he would just turn up as the chairman or something and go
And strip the title off someone.
Exactly.
He was absolutely mince as well. Like he was not a showman. He would always stumble over his words. Like. You compare that to the authority figures going forward, and it just wasn't the same. Anyway, it's taken us 7 minutes to get onto Jack Tunney, so maybe we'll proceed. Any drinks?
I do have a drink. I've never dabbled with the brand Celsius before, but I was in Morrison's last night and saw it being sold off, so I thought, we'll try it. I'm always wary of a 0-calorie drink. I feel like when you're getting your energy, it's got to have a lot of shite in it. Because that's where you get your nutrients, as they call it. So I've went for Celsius Live Fit Cosmic Vibe Sparkling Fruit Burst flavour.
Celsius Live?
Which claims to have essential energy, TM. Finally, energy is trademarked, 7 vitamins and natural flavours. And it claims in the blurb that Celsius powers active lives every day. Stay active and refreshed with Celsius by your side. Living fit is not just about fitness. It's a mindset and a lifestyle embodied by those who push through the last set and make the most of every day. Our mix of vitamins help with the normal functioning of the immune system and help reduce tiredness and fatigue. I hate it already. I've not even opened it. But we'll see if Cosmic Vibe has... I don't even know what that's going to taste like.
Cosmic Vibe. I expect a kind of red berry situation, especially given the front cover.
I'm not going to lie to you, I'm smelling Red Bull.
Here we go.
As always.
That's the best. It's Red Bull with like a hint of strawberries.
It's a weird one. It's exactly that. It tastes... The initial hit is Red Bull, and then it's exactly a strawberry aftertaste. Strawberry was spot on.
I feel like if you're going for the red cover, it has to be like a mixed berry or a strawberry kind of situation.
Yeah. Cosmic Vibe I'm not having. I certainly don't feel futuristic or in outer space as such, but it's fine. It's not going to overtake any of the monsters or anything like that, but if I was on a desert island and that's all they had, I wouldn't perish.
This is now empty, sadly, but I've been hitting up the Great Monster, the very best. I've been hitting up the Ultra Blue Hawaii, which is a nice one as well. Because because I'm staying right next to both Disney and the Anaheim Convention Center, there is a 7-Eleven, a CVS, and a Walgreens all on one block. And the first day I was here, somehow like I've been here since Tuesday, I think, and as we are speaking, it is 6:15 in the morning in LA, and the Pokemon World Championships actually kicks off in like an hour and a half because it's become like WrestleMania, like this whole week-long thing, and then it gets to the weekend and that actually kicks off. What were your final thoughts on the Cosmic Vibe for Sam's benefit?
Adequate, fills a hole, not the worst.
Don't we all?
Zero. Oh well, hey. That's the dream. Not the worst zero calorie energy drink I've ever had, but certainly far from the best. It won't be. Jack Tunney won't be commissioning it for any championship matches anytime soon.
Yeah, that's sad to hear. You may notice that I'm drinking aqua, water, from a big gulp from the 7-Eleven. So I needed a big juice. Some of us, you get to that point in the day where you need a big juice. I go to the 7-Eleven, and I'm looking at the big gulp thing, and I'm like, did I get a slurp? What are they actually called? Are they called Slurpees? Or is that just in The Simpsons? They're called Squishies in The Simpsons.
Squishies.
But I was like, did I get a Slurpee? I was like, that feels like it's going to send my stomach to the moon and turn my shite blue. So I got a big gulp, a super big gulp actually, of pineapple Fanta, which was sensational. But afterwards, I was like, I'm feeling so dehydrated. It occurred to me that I hadn't drank any actual water in about 36 hours. So I've just been firing down super big gulps of water and pissing my pants constantly.
Good.
But I think because it's so hot here and it's that horrible, humid, dry heat, you're just constantly sweating and expelling all the water in your body. So the number one energy drink recommendation on this podcast, water.
Old H2O.
Obviously not for you. But
No, I would spit it right back up again. But
how much to down this?
it's hardly anything to boast about. Do you remember the woman who died drinking water to win a wee? Do you remember that story?
No.
So
how did that? Was she trying? You tell your story and I'll see if it's the one I'm thinking of. Go.
As I understand it, there was a radio competition. This is when the Wii wasn't out yet and was the hot ticket in town. Everyone was trying to get a Wii for their kids. So some American radio station hosted a competition in its studios where a bunch of people could come and try to drink as much water as they can to win a Wii. So the joke being that you would Wii yourself, but I don't think that was an American joke, so I'm not really sure where that came from. It might not have even been American, it might have been British. Regardless, this woman, it's because Scott FM, that's why they don't exist anymore. This mother won the competition by drinking gallons and gallons and gallons of water, won the Wii, or a pre-order for the Wii, as it were, and then drove home and died later that day of some sort of toxic poison, because you don't drink that much water. So it killed her.
That seems like it comes from the era of, you remember those programs that was like Dale Winton in a shopping centre, and if you could hold on to a car for like 5 days, you would win the car. All of those formats have been repurposed by Mr. Beast. Like, that is just a Mr. Beast. We got 1,000 people holding 1,000 cars for 1,000 years. So maybe he could bring back the hold your wee. That was also the story I was thinking about, because I thought it was a wee pun. I feel like back in the day when there were competitions like that, I would always enter, like, competitions for consoles specifically when I didn't have enough money to buy them. I would enter them two-footed and think, surely my odds are like 1 in 10 here. As someone who ran a mag, how popular were competitions like that?
The Wii competition, which was like £1 an entry, like text entries, and we only got like a portion of that, because obviously the company, whatever company it was that ran the text competitions, would take a cut, and obviously we never, us personally, the staff never saw any of it. We didn't even want them, and we didn't even like them being in the magazine, because there's something quite grubby about like the whole kind of getting children and families to kind of throw their money at a big raffle. But the Wii was so popular that it made Future like well into the six figures.
Jesus Christ!
In terms of money made, and given it was £1 a go and they didn't get the full £1, you're talking at least a couple 100,000 entries for that. So that was mental. We did loads of other like text competitions, but none of them were ever anywhere near as big as the Wii one, and only 10 people won one.
At least all that money that Future made kept you in a job, so congratulations.
For a while.
You're still there right now. Let's do a bit of chat. This will be a slightly different episode because I have to like shoot off and we've got some big stuff to talk about. So your normal VGC podcast won't return next week because this is at Gamescom. It will return eventually. This is the summer series.
We should have probably taken this offline, but let's try and get something done during Gamescom, because I'll bring my... Yeah. I've acquired a new webcam, so I don't need to use this is probably the last time I use my phone.
Stole it.
As a webcam.
Lifted it from Comet.
Oh yeah, definitely. Curry's now they call it. It's still very easy to steal from. But yeah, so I'll have equipment with me, so maybe at night we should try and get some reaction videos or something going if possible, if the kids want it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
If evidenced by our output recently, they would listen to the two of us talk absolute shite about anything for about 10 hours. So I don't think they'll see it pop up and go, oh, these guys again.
More chat. But no, I'm really looking forward to it. My schedule is absolutely rammed, and it's rammed almost entirely with stuff I care about. Sometimes you go like, oh well, I'll have to do this. but it's like pretty much everything I'm excited to see. So it's got potential to be a really good show. So
Yeah, when you said that you were going to see Breath of the Wild 3, I was like, you know what, it's a big departure, but I think it'll be interesting, so I'm looking forward to your preview coverage of that.
I'm curious to see how giving Link a chain gun is going to affect the gameplay, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, speaking of games that have pretty different gameplay, I've played Pokemon Legends ZA. ZA. I've been playing that Pokemon Legends Zaza, you know. I'm sure the Pokemon company will love that.
You're putting out right before it starts. Like
Pikachu comes flying through about.
There's a Psyduck using Psychic to hear you through the wall. It's like he's talking about drugs. He's talking about Jeffries. Get him out.
He's talking about the absolute fat Jeffries. Anyway, the Pokemon World Championships are this week. There's going to be a public demo of Legends ZA starting today, and I got to play it 2 days ago. It's 2 sections. It's like the ZA Royale, which is like your trainer battles, win battles in the ZA Royale, go up the ranks, you go from Z to A. And this is where they kind of introduce the new real-time combat system. So if you go on the YouTube channel, you can see new gameplay over my shoulder. That was a requirement, don't ask. And you can see how both the player and the Pokemon are running about at the same time, and you're like locking on with L and using the face buttons to pick attacks and things like that. It's very different. It's like the biggest departure for the combat in a long, long time. And it's one of those demos where it was like hard to get to grips with that element of it, but I was excited to learn it because when you pick up a Pokemon game now, I know what I'm doing. Like I know everything about that there is to know about main series combat. So when they change it up so significantly, immediately I started flailing. I was like, oh, what am I supposed to do here? But that portion of it's cool. Being able to move your Pokemon independently means that there's like slightly more. It seems like there could be slightly more skill to it because it's not so rigid and turn-based. Like the hardcore players are playing like 10 turns ahead, but if you're constantly moving this 3D fighter of a Pokemon, it makes it pretty different. So I want to sit down with that and like really experiment with it. The second half of the demo was like a big boss battle against Rogue Mega Absol.
Big RMA.
Big RMA, Absol, who debuted in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, got a Mega version back when Megas were first introduced and is now back in this game. The Rogue Mega Pokemon are like raid bosses essentially. They're huge and they can damage both you and your Pokemon. So you have to use one Pokemon that can Mega Evolve against this Rogue Mega Pokemon. You damage it, and as you damage it, balls of energy will like fly out of it around the arena, and you have to run your character to go and collect them while trying to attack the Pokemon. Once you do that, you can Mega Evolve, bang, 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 and it's all spectacle. That stuff was cool because it was really hard. Well, it made me think like if I wasn't on the ball, I'd be dying here constantly. There was people in the demo dying, bums, absolute fake fans. But I always think about, when I think about Legends, that first night that we both played it till like 4 a.m, and independently of each other, then text each other and be like, this is the business. This feels like that again in terms of how desperate I am to just play more of it. And it's significantly different from even Arceus, which makes me think like, this Legends sub-brand, man, they just do what they want over here. It's like such a nice kind of it's like a test bed for stuff that could make it into the main series, but won't. We played it on Switch too, and it looked pretty nice.
See, that gives me pause though. The fact you're saying it's so different from Arceus, because I'm hoping I'll enjoy it as much as you are, because it sounds like you're into it. But like when I played the Arceus, I was like, I just want this again, but like somewhere else. So if they've deviated a lot again, I mean, it's starting to sound more like Pokken tournament.
Pokken is exactly so. That raid boss battle is exactly what I thought. Was Pokken was what I thought. But remember, they had like the noble Pokemon in Arceus, like Cleavor and stuff like that. It feels like that's what this is. Like you'll maybe do 7 of them across the game, whereas there was no exploration part of our demo. But at one point, I pressed like a button and I threw a Pokeball in a Legends Arceus way. So I think obviously they've shown in previous gameplay that there's like catching zones, because obviously the game's set in Lumios, so there's Pokemon everywhere, but they're not just robbing someone for their Butterfree. So I think in the catching zones it will be like that. It will just be the combat that's kind of different.
So would you say like the public will be able to play this at Gamescom?
It will be. I believe the public will be able to play at Gamescom, because I think it's the same demo that will be at Worlds, and that was a public ballot thing. So I believe that's the case.
I wonder if when it's out in Europe, the ZA Royale will be renamed Quarter Pounder and ZA.
There you go. Thank you. I was like, is he going to go for a ZA joke, or is he going to go?
No, I went ZA.
Yeah.
I went Pulp Fiction instead.
Yeah. Timely. You're famously not really a turn-based person. Do you think the more active combat will be more up your street?
Yeah, I think so. I'm up for that. It's weird. Like I don't mind turn-based. I'm quite impatient as a player.
Yeah.
That's why I'm never any. I'm never any good at like strategy games or anything. So whenever I get like an Octopath Traveler or what have you, what was the other one? Triangle Strategy. The clues in the title I should have known. I hate triangles, but I'm always really impatient. I always just go attack, and then just die every time. And I'm like, how come? And it's like, because obviously you've got to like properly position your guys, and I'll just go fucking in. So yeah, the idea of a Pokemon game which is more kind of actiony, more real time than turn based appeals to me more. Not that Pokemon was ever massively taxing. Like I could always make my way through. Pokemon is pretty easy as far as turn based RPGs go. But
you're sitting there screaming.
I know. I'm like, why can't I catch this level 4 Magikarp? But no. So I'm excited to kind of play a more kind of actiony Pokemon game. If Pokken is a vibe you're getting, even though I don't expect a full on Tekken game, if you're getting more of a Pokken vibe, then I'm up for that.
It's certainly very, very different. It also reminds me, it's like the closest they've ever had it to, you remember in the anime, the way that the fighting was dictated, where there was like no turns really. Players could just say, dodge it, and it was just random as to what happened. Like obviously this is not random, there's a full mechanic behind it, but it reminds me of that kind of. Yeah, it's great. There's a lot in that demo, and just running around the city at 60 FPS, I was like, man, this is night and day. Like it's so clean and it's like seeing a Pokemon game on the Switch 2 for the first time. Obviously it's coming on Switch 1 as well, but it's not like ZA, it's not like Scarlet and Violet where I played it for 3 years on Switch 1 and then saw it on Switch 2. This is just Switch 2, what we've seen. So I want to explore a lot more. Sadly, there was like they were like, if you go any further than this one boundary, the demo will immediately end. I was like, oh yeah, fair enough. But that was pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff around here for ZA. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about Pokemon World Championships here, because we'll do that for future content. But the Pokemon Center was very well organized when we went. I believe that was not the case later in the day, and that the World's exclusive Pikachu was like gold dust again. But as far as I'm aware, they have made significantly more of everything. So the goal for them is always for nothing to have secondary value. But we'll see. I bought a hell of a lot of stuff. I bought a baseball shirt with Pokemon across it and Anaheim 25 in the back, and I just feel like Shane McMahon, because he's the only person I associate baseball shirts with. I don't know how the hell I'm going to get it back to the UK, but are
you going to climb the top of the convention centre and dive off it like Shane McMahon?
Maybe. It's like a big dome, so it shouldn't be that hard. It's not massively high, but it'll pop. So the finals are actually in there's like a arena at the convention centre, and the finals are there, so maybe that's when I'll make my big debut. But yes, lots of Pokemon people here, lots of weird nerds, and it's only going to get worse over the weekend.
Did you get a Pikachu then?
Oh yeah, I've got two. Don't
one's going straight on eBay?
Certainly not. One's going straight to the person who's currently looking after my dogs, aka my dear beloved. But I got one of each of the World's plush. A load of I mainly got stuff with like Anaheim on it, because this is my first international Worlds, and I wanted that kind of stuff. I didn't buy anything that you could just buy on the Pokemon Center, because who cares? But yeah,
Surely they could have done
Interestingly,
a Mighty Ducks top with Psyduck on it.
if they did a hockey jersey, I would have bought that.
They should have
That's
done
actually
that.
a good point.
Mighty Psyducks.
Yeah, surely. So they had the one of the, because it was like an Americana themed shop. They had like records up on great records up on one of the walls, and it was all puns. So it was like Papa Barbroach, Lux Radiohead, and etc.
That's poor.
etc. So I was like, I said to someone who remained nameless at the Pokemon company, you should have done posters of these. I would have bought all of them. And they were like, we would have been sued by about 28 different bands at once. I was like, yeah, that's fair.
Did they have Deoxys Midnight Runners?
Genuinely, maybe. I'll have to look at my footage, but they had like Kyogre Minogue. So it was very... look, they're not all smash hits.
That feels like a list we
hits.
can. That feels like a list that we can better at some point in the future.
Yeah.
I would need to see a list of Pokemon names because I can't.
System of a Drowsy, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's the first band I thought of. But yeah, cool shop. Real 5 times the size it's ever been. All my usual plaudits of make a physical one and I'll never move out. But when I do my big because I've been vlogging all of this, so when I do my big Patreon spiel, I'll show all the shite that I bought. When we come back, we have stuff about WWE. We have stuff about my impromptu trip to Disneyland, and then I have to run to the convention center. So we'll see you in a minute. And we are back. Chris,
I've got a Pokemon band for you.
Pokemon band.
Smash Meowth.
Yeah, there you go. That's all. That's it.
That's all you need.
Yeah, that's all you need to do. That was probably a great job being told that was what they were doing for the day. You're coming up with pun Pokemon bands. Come on now. Chris, I've been out of the loop. I want to know about this new WWE 2K25 Bray Wyatt content. How do you get it? What it's all about, and what does it come from?
It's genuinely brilliant. Like, I genuinely had a tear in my eye watching it. It's so well done.
Like Ric Flair?
Almost, God rest him. Well, Ric Flair be a Hell Mendham situation, because obviously when Hulk Hogan has died, like, a lot of people have been not so much God rest him as Hell Mendham. Ric Flair's been a dirty old man, so you'd imagine that he's going to get this. He's not dirty old man. He's not quite being a racist, but he's certainly been a shagger.
I think we'll have to take it to God rest him court before we actually determine it, because I feel like there's going to be a list that comes out afterwards that is going to be very difficult to God rest him.
Yeah. There's going to be a BBC style post death. The Bray Wyatt. Speaking of post death. So the island is WWE 2K. It's kind of weirder story mode. So you've got My Rise, which is your normal story mode, and then you've got the island, which is where they put all the daft stuff. So like there's a mission where Paul Bearer's ghost tells you, "Oh, go and do this," and then later on you can then unlock Paul Bearer's ghost, and you can unlock a giant Lily doll like Alexa Bliss to fight as a playable character, stuff like that. And they added a video a few weeks ago. There it was a Wyatt 6 video. And it was just like the usual Wyatt 6 stuff where you get like, and it's like a teaser saying, "Are you seeking the answers?" or some shit like that. And they've added like a Wyatt cabin in the island, so if you go in there, you can start a new mission. And the idea behind this new mission is that when they were making WWE 2K22, one of the My Rise storylines was going to be Bray Wyatt. Taking you in as a Firefly in his funhouse and training you to kind of beat people up for you, and then he takes you under his wing and like raises you to be like the next Bray Wyatt. And while they were making that, he got cut. Like WWE released him, so all the audio files he recorded for that, and they'd started making character models and all that, all got scrapped and got binned. So then, when they were making 2K24. Bray Wyatt had come back, and Bray Wyatt had done that amazing comeback where he did his own promo and thank every one of you who stood up for me, like, and everyone loved him again. So at that point, the narrative director who I spoke to last week, she'd done the 2K22 stuff, so she said, "Why don't we bring back that stuff that we recorded for 2K22, put that in My Rise for 2K24, and we'll record some new clips, and then so we can take that Firefly, put it in 2K24 instead, so we can kind of salvage it. Okay, we'll do that. So they started doing that. Then he died. So they then had to scrap it for the second time. This content was scrapped twice in a row. So like, fuck's sake. So they did. So now the island has got this Wyatt 6 storyline. And what they've done is they've finally taken this these audio recordings and they've put them in this instead. And what they do is there's 3 or 4 fights where you fight each of the Wyatt 6 one at a time. And every time you do, you unlock a new video. And the videos are those vignettes that you get with Bo Dallas and Uncle Howdy both looking at each other, like talking about Bray Wyatt's death, but they're new ones recorded just for the game. And it starts with Bray Wyatt saying, with Uncle Howdy saying to Bo Dallas, what do you think? What do you think of all this? And Bo Dallas is like, this is just a game. This isn't real. I thought the echoes I was hearing were going to make me happy, but I thought it was going to make me happy, but it's not. People play games for an escape to pretend that the life that is happy, the life is happy again, but it isn't really. None of this is real. So you're like, oh, that's a bit of a bummer. And then when you do the next one, but eventually then Bo Dallas goes, actually, I'd quite like to stay here. I know this isn't real, but I'd like to stay here because it makes me happy just to hear him, basically. And then it cuts at the end to the footage, to the audio of Bray Wyatt, and it's a recording session, so you can hear the guy saying, okay, when you're ready, and he's going, okay. And he's doing, I'm so proud of you, my little firefly, but it's showing you Bo Dallas, like looking over him, as if so, although he was originally talking to the player, it's now as if he's talking to Bo Dallas, talking to him, like, he's saying, I'm so proud of you, you've carried on what I wanted you to do, you're doing this for me, and it's like I've always said, if you love something so much, that you want to squish it and see it die, then you can do that, but sometimes you got to let it go and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, fucking hell, man. I was going, and at the very end, it's just like a wee audio like waveform, and at the very end he goes, goodbye for now, and then that's the end of the clip. And I was like, and Louise is watching, and Louise was like, to be all right, and I'm like, I think so. I was like, this is heartbreaking. So I interviewed the narrative director about it, and she was saying, like, when she wrote that for 22, it was about her own personal losses and stuff like that. So it meant a lot to her as well. And the fact that she got to, so it's a good article, it's worth reading, but it's like, it's tough to watch. It's a tough watch. But it's amazing. It's genuinely brilliant. Like a brilliant way of bringing back old content. It's like very sad, but yeah, fully recommended.
So how do people access that? Can they just go into the island?
You can just go into the island and play through it. It's there. You don't have to unlock it. I would drop the difficulty because the island famously is all about grinding your character for real money. But if you don't pay real money, then your character's weaker than everyone else. So unless you're absolutely shit hot at WWE, you should probably drop the difficulty because it's a couple of difficult kind of 2-on-1 handicap fights against the Wyatt 6 to unlock all the content. But it's only like 3 or 4 matches, then you get it all. But it's brilliant. It's definitely worth a look. Yeah,
excellent. That kind of stuff is cool that they keep it around because obviously in the world of wrestling games, a lot gets cut because people move on and like the people they are pushing changes so rapidly. So it's cool that stuff kind of sticks around. That's cool. I want to go back to that. The last time I played WWE 2K was when New Jack was in it, and I was just battering people as New Jack over and over and over again while his music played. So I think for the next one, like obviously you assume that this people were DLC probably do the usual and get graduated into the main roster next time. Like how weird do you think they start going? Because Nick Khan seems to be happy to just get anyone, which is quite wild.
Yeah, and especially because, not that they would do this in the main roster, but I like that they're slightly going weirder again, especially with this island mode. So when I reviewed it originally, my initial take was my faction, which is their kind of ultimate team mode, is good, but a bit money hungry. The island is shite because the island is quite clearly designed just to make you spend loads of money all the time. It's microtransactions. That's bullshit. But as they've added new chapters to the island, I actually really like it now because all the microtransaction stuff is stuff like a Nike shop and like different shops where you can buy customization stuff for your guy. You can completely ignore that. Like you can play through the whole of the island without ever spending a penny. And that's where all the weird stuff's been put. So like I say, you can unlock the Ghost of Paul Bearer, you can unlock the giant Lily doll, you can unlock a robot version of Cody Rhodes. And this is all stuff that, like in my faction, when you unlock it, it gets unlocked in the main game as well. So you can bring all the daft. It reminds me of the old days when like you could fight as like zombie versions of Santino Marella and all that kind of stuff. It's fun. But yeah, in terms of the next game, I don't know. They're going to have to like dig deeper every time, presumably.
TNA people maybe, since that partnership's kind of more firm.
You've got to have Joe Hendry in there. Got to have the Bushwhackers in there.
Yeah. I'd love TNA versions of like. I want like AJ Styles when he was like 25. Like I want Christopher Daniels is an AEW, which is always the complication. But yeah, cool stuff. Just finally for now, yesterday I went to the happiest place on earth, Chris Scullion. What's wrong with Mickey Mouse's helicopter?
Okay, on you go.
Thank you. I told that joke to an American and a Canadian, and it did not land. Much like Mickey Mouse's helicopter, unfortunately. So we were at dinner the other night, and friend of the show, big tall man, Greg Miller, said, "Oh, what are you doing tomorrow?" And I was like, "Oh, nothing. We've got a free day, so we're just gonna kick about." And he was like, "Well, I happen to have spare tickets to Disney. Do you want to come?" And I was like, "Well, yes, let's do that." So it was me, Greg, Jen, and their son, little Ben. So I was like, "Yeah, that's cool." Ben wants to go and do all the Pixar stuff. The wrinkle here was, and I didn't know this about Greg. He's not a roller coaster man. Doesn't like them at all. Had a traumatic experience on Pirates of the Caribbean when he was younger, where he was like asking. He said he was screaming for help when he was on the boat, even though it was just like moving slowly. So we're like, how's this gonna go? Go to Cars Land. Very impressed. I'm not a Cars man at all, but the money that's been pumped into that Cars Land, very very impressive.
You'd swear you were in Radiator Springs.
Exactly, with all these racist stereotypes of different nationalities. So we go on the Cars ride, and I'm like, okay, what could this possibly be? This must just be like a wee daft. You're driving about, like, oh, look, we're going a bit fast. Let me tell you, that thing pings. That thing goes at a decent clip, and there's a bit at the end where you do 3 kind of big hills and big steep drops, and your stomach goes. And when we got off the ride, Greg was like, "Yeah, as soon as that started, I just closed my eyes as tight as I could." And then when you see the photo, like me and Jen are like, and Greg's just scrunched up eyes. And Ben didn't care. He loved it. I think you sell it to them as they are the bravest human being in the world, and they're like, "Yeah, mate, easy money, easy game." So then we went on Space Mountain. No, the California Adventure Park I'd never been to. I'd only went to Disneyland, but California Adventure has like all the Avengers shit in it. And let me tell you, Chris, the Avengers lineup for the meet and greets, bums, absolute C tier jobber Avengers. Black Panther, Black Widow, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, and Captain America, the Sam Wilson version. No Iron Man, no Thor, no Hulk, no Steve Rogers Captain America. Spider-Man was kicking about, but he wasn't with the Avengers. Is that
the robot Spider-Man that just jumps up in the building?
So he was there, robot Spider-Man was there, but there's also, before that, there's like a guy in a suit going, hey, I'm Spider-Man here. And then he disappears behind that door and goes, okay, I'm gonna jump. And then they fire this plastic thing 500 feet in the air, which is it's an effective little stunt. I had underestimated how obsessed with Spider-Man kids are these days. Like it was like it was like the Beatles had appeared when he turned up. They obviously do the thing where it's Tom Holland's voice coming out of the suit, whereas it's just some random guy from California going, hey. But pretty cool. We went to the Ant-Man Pim's Diner or something like that. The gimmick is
the big giant food.
Yeah, big giant food or tiny food, and I had a chicken sandwich in there that's not turned on me. So they had Fantastic Four blue mozzarella sticks, and I saw one of them, and I was like, if I didn't have quite a lot of work to do this weekend, I would have gambled, but I didn't take it. How much do you think for a white monster in Disney?
Well, Disney America, it would be what, $5,
$6.50.
That's the one thing I noticed. Disney in Japan is very reasonable. Like,
really?
It's surprisingly reasonably priced. They're like the vending machines, you're talking like £1.80 or something for like a drink, which for like a theme park is pretty good going. Yeah, it sounds like the Avengers stuff is very similar to the Avengers campus in Disneyland Paris, which I was kind of underwhelmed by. Again, like the cast isn't amazing, and the kind of Spider-Man ride in the Paris one is confusing because when you see the intro bit, like Tom Holland's there, like the video of Tom Holland introducing it, but it's dubbed in French and then with English subtitles. And it's like, could you not have just given us the English version and given us French subtitles? But then obviously kids wouldn't be able to read it, so like, I get it. So that's a bit weird. But I'm excited about that. As people who don't know, I'm a massive Disney head. That's like short of video games, and like Disney's my number two. I'm so excited for Disneyland Paris's new bit that they're opening up. They're totally transforming their shitey second park into like a decent second park. So I'm well up for that. Yeah, so I'm sure we'll get a report from there one day.
They were doing all the Halloween stuff. Like, it's just kicking off at the minute, all the Halloween stuff. So Goofy kicking about as a skeleton, etc. We also walked up to the back of the park where they're like knocking it down to make it the Disney Villains land, which will be kind of interesting because that part of the park, there's like no IP associated with it. It's just like, here's the Jungle River Rapids and all these kind of podunk rides, which have a charm to them because I like the idea that Disneyland isn't always just IP, but c'est la vie. We went into Star Wars Land. We met Kylo Ren and a pair of stormtroopers. One of the stormtroopers was a big games media fan, so he interacted with Greg, got Ben involved and stuff like that, so that was nice. Greg was also wearing a t-shirt with his face on it, which if you check his Blue Sky, you'll understand why, but he was going up to every character and like explaining it, and all the characters were like, is it and then someone in Star Wars Land came up to him and was like taking a photo of them in front of the Millennium Falcon, and he was like, what's the story with your shirt? And he's like, oh yeah. And he was like, wait, are you? And it was a guy that watched Kind of Funny stuff, but he just didn't recognize Greg because he had like a hat on and like, and I was like, oh, man, fucking.
That's awesome.
I love the Star Wars Land. I love just kicking about in it. It's every time I see the Millennium Falcon, I get a wee fanny flutter because I'm like, it just looks perfect. Like, it could not be better. We didn't do that ride obviously because the wait time is very long, and I think the Millennium Falcon ride's a weird one because it's a motion simulator, but I think kids would get into it because it's just smashing buttons. Like, it's very tactile. Like, you're just kind of fucking.
See, I'd get annoyed with that because, as I understand it, it's basically a video game.
It's a game
with like a win or lose condition. I'd be raging because they put you in with a couple of other people, don't they? And I'd be like, see if you've.
It's fours,
But see if you pricks can't fly this properly, and I'll lose because of you.
The two times I've done it previously, the idea is like there's a pilot, a gunner, and two engineers. The engineers are all on the wall pressing buttons. The gunner's like shooting, and the pilot is doing all the Han Solo stuff. Both times I've went the pilot, and I've refused to let anyone else be the pilot because it's like, I'm Han Solo. This is my fantasy.
Imagine queuing for that for ages and getting the engineer gig, and you're literally just hitting buttons. That'd be garbage.
No, that's the thing. Like, we were pitching Ben on it, and like if we were going to do that, I was like, okay, Ben can drive, and we can just like engineer it. But as soon as I described it to them, I was like, you're in basically a coffin with a big screen in front of you, and it's going like that. I'm like, nah, it's not. But yeah, I got some Dole Whip and headed out. I was looking for merch for Powerline, from the Goofy movie, because they had Powerline merch a little while ago for the anniversary, but the speed at which the merch changes, once you're seeing merch that you want on like TikTok and stuff like that, it's already gone. It's pointless. But,
that reminds me, there was an astonishing Goofy t-shirt I saw in Japan, which I'm assuming is from the Goofy movie, but like it says in the top, it says Goofy Goof, and then it's just his face, and then it says underneath it, I'm always thinking about my son. And that's all I said. I was so tempted. I was like, if I had a son, I would have bought that immediately. It's so weird. That's amazing. But yeah, good stuff.
I sniff at Disney people when I've not been for a while, but every time I go, yeah, that's
I dream of doing the American ones one day. I don't think I'll ever go to like the Hong Kong one and all that. I just don't fancy like going to that sort of stuff. Definitely not going to the new Abu Dhabi one that they've just announced.
I hear the Flintstones are in that one.
Don't. I was waiting for it. I was waiting. Did you know that the people of yeah, very good, very good. Some people won't get it. Some people actually won't get that joke.
Ask her that. The next time you do, like, if we do SGF next year, I would maybe consider like taking a couple of days afterwards and coming down to the LA one, because we could realistically do it in like 2 days, because it's not very big. It's not like Florida where it's like a city. It's like they can't make the LA one any bigger because it's surrounded by like hotels and houses and stuff. But it's pretty cool. I want to do next time I come here, I want to see the villain stuff, and maybe I didn't do the Guardians Mission Breakout, the new version of Tower of Terror. That would be cool. But yeah,
it'd be nice to go to that one, because that's the original, isn't it? That's the one that Walt himself set foot on.
That's the one big Nazi boy kicked a ball in.
God rest him.
Yeah, God rest him. Apparently there's some mental animatronic of him kicking about now that's like,
I saw that. It looks pretty
very
bad.
advanced. It broke down like the first day. It was like, well,
so did I.
Let me tell you about the great replacement theory, and then it all just broke down. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap us pretty shortly so I can go and play some Pokemon. Today I'm gonna do some. So alongside all the stuff going on, they have side events where you pay like $5 and you go with a group of 4, or you get matched into a random group and you play 3 games of cards against each other, and if you win you get tokens to go and redeem it against like prizes and stuff like that. It's very like carnival-ish. Like the whole thing around it is kind of it's becoming a bit of a festival, which is cool, because if you're not a pro player, what are you doing apart from watching stuff? So it's much more active. Yeah, so that would be pretty cool. I don't know what the outfit's going to be today. I got a nice t-shirt with Jigglypuff on it, but it's white, and I've been sweating a lot, so I do not want to get my tits out in the Anaheim Convention Center again. So
not after last time.
Yeah, not after last time. Anyway, go and check out my preview of Legends ZA, which is on the site and on YouTube. Chris's interview about the Bray Wyatt stuff that we chatted about earlier is also on VGC, and patreon.com/Video Games Chronicle. Go and get your badge, because we're from the original run, we're down to like 25 or something like that. So and that's going to ruin my life when I have to ship them out to all of you, but I'll think about that. That's future Jordan's problem, to quote Homer Simpson. What's the rest of the weekend looking like for you?
Not a lot. Well, I need to start writing more of this PlayStation book, because it's taking a heavy backseat. But then after that, just getting ready for Gamescom. Like my laptop finally decided to give up the ghost like a week or 2 ago, so I've got a brand new laptop with new capture facilities. So hopefully any of the stuff at Gamescom that lets you capture, I can actually get decent footage of it that I can put on the YouTube channel. But yeah, like I think I've got like 20 appointments. So it's going to be like, next week's going to be of heavy like duty playing those. And then so people will see on VGC in the coming weeks, like lots of kind of hands-on stuff and footage and everything I can do. And then when all the embargoes lift, I want to have a massive diary video package thing that'll go on the Patreon, showing like a definitive what the entire covering Gamescom procedure is, how it all goes. So I'll do that on the Patreon at some point. I think it's be interesting to people to see
definitely
everything that's actually involved in it. So yeah,
make sure you've got it running in the toilets. Until next time,
I believe it.
Say goodbye, Chris.
Goodbye, Chris.
And we'll see you later.